Yes.
The dragon got knocked out of the sky and caused an avalanche. We think he was knocked out of the sky because he was in too close proximity to the Divinite. Or they somehow weaponized the Divinite.
So, yes, you, Theo, and Astorio began a scouting mission where Theo and Astorio were wolves, and you had used a potion of invisibility, where you made your way down to the entrance of the cave, and after some wolf shenanigans were able to sneak your way inside. You had enough time to investigate a few rooms, one of them seeming to be a break room of some kind. Another one was just a room full of this putrid, awful stench that, upon further investigation, was just a room filled with corpses. A little bit further in, where you were met with a few different branching paths.
Quick note, in the room with all the dead bodies, Percy would have divulged to everyone that there... Shoot, I brought my map. I did not, it's sitting at home. But that there was a small grate, a small tunnel that would be big enough for smaller people in the party to make an extremely quick exit if absolutely necessary.
Mm-hmm. Or out of the frying pan into the oven.
Right.
Into the next room, which had a branching of different paths to choose from. The left led you to a dead end that seemed to be a cave-in that looked intentional, from what you could tell. The eastern path led you to the room that had the sort of lake river running through it. That the cave then extended further inward on the other side, but the lake did have a runoff waterfall where it did drop down the other side.
I can barely see it from where I was.
And then to the north led you to your first actual room with a closed door. And then upon investigating that, there were the guards communicating with a researcher, scientist of some kind. And the room itself, on the left and right side of the walls, was lined with these like incubation-like chambers, where there were things inside of it, corpses inside of it that had different wires and things attached
so
to them.
you did clarify there, you said corpses, so it wasn't like Luke Skywalker at the end of Empire where he's in the tube and he's like getting revived or they're doing stuff.
Not the back.
These were more like corpses in formaldehyde.
There were bodies in them. What their state of life was never determined.
Good enough.
But you did see that there were bodies in them. Not wanting to venture further in, you turned and made your way back. When doing so, you stopped one more time to kind of peek back or down closer to the room with the bodies, where then a strange glow-like reflection kind of pulsed across the ceiling, following a trail of ice that had a prismatic shifting of lights, like the northern lights.
Mm-hmm. That's where I get the idea for the moonlight kaleidoscope.
Followed quickly by a very, very loud crashing and banging noise, which then triggered an avalanche. Luckily, through wild shapes and polymorphs, you guys were able to get out of harm's way, making it back to the rest of the party, where you used a sending spell to get in contact with Thelzar, who you had learned was very weak, and further investigation revealed that he had fallen from the sky and had crashed into the mountain, and this crash was the trigger source of the avalanche. He informed you that something was draining his strength, like kryptonite to Superman, but he did inform you of a potential other entrance that he found near the bottom, where another river lake could be seen flowing into the mountain that could potentially hold another entrance point. So with this, you all did what you could to unbury him as best as you could, making sure that his face and parts of his body were uncovered so that it was easier to breathe before leaving him in the snow and heading off to hopefully find this, what is assumed to be an entrance.
Yes. We did a little bit of, like, I poured a healing potion down his throat.
Mm.
We did what we could for him. Bless you. And I think that's where we left off, was it
Yep.
not? Are all the casters okay as far as spells and stuff are concerned? I guess.
I mean, you're a little tapped on thirds,
I guess.
right?
Nox has used one. So
Because you had to use message.
I
or
used a
send-
wild shape, but that's about it.
I thought Nox has
You
used
just-
two.
I
used
used one
two
at the
wild shapes,
beginning,
didn't you?
I think, to
No,
contact
because
the
I was
dragon
polymorphed.
flies.
The Stoyo polymorphed you into the giant eagle.
Yeah,
That's
because
right.
I can't fly yet.
So Astorio is tapped on wild shapes completely, and he has
I
burned.
am down to one
They fit with
third
all
level
everything.
spell. I have second levels, and
Well, you haven't used any of your first and seconds, have
Polymorph
you?
is 4, I think.
however it
And I think
means
he only polymorphed once. Or did he? Yeah.
Just one.
Here's one nice thing about being a rogue. I always have my sneak attack.
Which means that he's
I always got my
he's
fists.
2 levels ahead.
Monks also gain him feedback on short rests, so
well, I don't know if we take your short rest.
I wouldn't need it anyway. Like, even if that hour.
I don't think
while-
Joey cast any spells that I
Not
can
yet.
remember.
Not yet.
So
But I mean, even if we needed to, like that hour that Nox, Kai, and Drex were just kind of sitting around with Anastasia, like I could have used that as a short rest if I needed to get Key back, but I didn't. So
But yes. Luckily for you guys, you are relatively close to the top, so this journey is going to be more in your favor going downward than having to go uphill.
but we still have to go up and around slightly, don't we?
More like just up and over.
And then figure out where he was talking about on the way down.
They'll be coming around the mountain when she comes.
I'm sorry. Hey, we had the same wavelength there too, though.
Same opportunity. You said we had to go up and around the mountain, so what am I supposed to do?
I suppose Percy would be like, well, I guess we better get going as soon as we can, so, because the longer we wait here, the
More likely he's gonna.
more damage is going to be done to Dragon Boy here.
The darker it's going to get, the colder it's going to get.
I say we start going. Astoria, Anastasia, you guys okay with that?
Yeah. Yes, faster would be better.
Plus,
As I mentioned, we should proceed. Should we find passage into this cavern, we should proceed with caution, because clearly, whatever source of divinite they're sitting on, they've figured out how to use it.
which is terrifying.
And to be clear, I didn't see any like divinite, like in the wall, other than the stuff that was used. I didn't see any like where they've been mining it or anything.
You didn't see
In
any
the parts of
yeah, you didn't see any
Yeah.
of them.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll explain that to everybody. I assume that I explained that while everything else was going on. That I got to a certain point. I didn't want to go further in, but I didn't see any signs of it.
Okay. So I guess we just start buffing it then.
Okay. So who's in front?
I think it's the same as when
Drax has usually been going in front when we're
we were
climbing
out.
and moving
And then
around.
Nox was in the back, because then it was
Act as anchor.
Theo,
So it goes Drex,
Percy,
Theo,
Kai.
Percy, Kai.
and then probably Anastasia and Astoyo, and then
Does anyone remember off the top of their head what his survival bonus was? Because I think I had him roll last time, and
I think
don't
it was like
remember.
one more.
It was like a 6 or a 7, it seems like.
If it helps, I can take the lead.
Well, whatever yours was, his was 1 more.
So whoever is in the front, I need a survival check, and whoever is in the back, I'll have roll a perception check.
Oh, really?
You didn't roll very well, did you, Steve?
This many.
9!
Wow.
I rolled a 3.
Skills right here. This is what I want. Perception. 15?
So you have
Yes.
a bit of a rough time trekking through as the higher you get closer to kind of the peak of the current mountaintop you're on. It's not the highest point in the mountain, but you're not aiming for the highest point, you're just looking to get to the other side.
Altitude sickness.
The higher it gets, the air does become thicker, denser, colder. The snow starts rising in height, each step kind of taking a little bit more energy out of you than the last as you're heaving and trudging through the snow side. But as I mentioned, you guys were already fairly close to the top, so it does not take you super long to finish the trek. You're looking at maybe 30-40 minutes or so to actually get to the top and begin going over the other side. Looking around towards the back, you don't. Nothing immediately grabs your attention of things to look out for, or any creatures that may be up here. You don't see anything of notable importance. So, as you cross over the top and now are looking down the valley that kind of stretches down beneath you, there are multiple kind of cliff sides where the mountain kind of flattens out for a little bit into various thickets of trees, similar to where you guys had first landed, where Felzar had brought you to. There's multiple of these kind of little clearings that make vision down the mountain a little obscured at times, so you can basically only kind of see one section in front of you at a time.
That's fair. What time of day would you say it is now?
I want to say right about now it's probably early afternoon. No. Did you guys go at night?
No.
Fairly early in the morning.
I was gonna say, I was pretty sure it was in the morning. Yeah. So, early afternoon.
And I would have been in the cave for almost an hour with my potion.
Mhm.
And then we came out and
Plus the trek time to
ran
get
away
there.
and then found everybody else and trekked back and had to find...
Felzar,
Yeah.
started doing stuff with him, and then...
Yeah, so you're probably looking around like 1-2 o'clock or so. What?
Maybe you're getting shorter now.
Oh, your chair do that thing again.
Wheel snap.
I'll sit the little
So,
kids down.
would you like to keep the same marching order going downward?
I'm having trouble leading this party. Would you like to take over?
Sure. I got you. Oof. I got you.
So Drex, go ahead and give me a survival check, and I'll have somebody else give me a survival check.
No, maybe it was a bad idea.
Perception?
Yes.
11.
What's your perception?
Entirely my
+4 is all. That's
Mine's
not
only
one of my.
+2.
That's not one of my cool skills.
That's not why I rolled a 3.
Yeah.
Hey,
He got a natural 20.
It is a nat 20 for a 24 though.
Wow! Okay.
That was the Kraken dice.
So,
Maybe if occasionally you just have to throw it to the floor.
You are
Chuck it under the bags or whatever.
slightly more experienced with traversing mountaintops than everyone else.
The person who was leading us, who was like spent most of his time on the ocean.
Yes, indeed. And so,
Theo, maybe
even
if you stop
with
shivering, you
a
can lead us
lower
a little better.
roll, your just general knowledge and experience makes this a little bit easier to kind of navigate.
I do have the mountain as my favorite terrain. Does that help me with anything?
Yes, roll with advantage.
No, we're gonna stick with the
That's
11.
even worse.
That was a total of an 8 for that second one. We're
isn't it
gonna
called-
stick with the 11.
Isn't it called Mountainborn or something for Goliath?
No.
But
I don't remember what we did for this.
you do know what to look out for when you're going up and down. Especially going down, you're kind of keeping an eye out for places that could be like false sense of security with like maybe places not to step that could be just pure ice that could lead to slipping. Making sure to take a path that kind of has a few kind of loose hanging rocks just in case you were to fall, there'd be something to attempt to grab onto. But you do kind of make this first descent, leading everyone successfully. And as you are kind of passing through this first ravine of trees, getting ready to make the secondary descent, Percy, there's something that, as you're kind of getting ready to follow behind Drex, something kind of like blinds you, like a beam of sunlight that hits you just perfectly right in the eyes. That makes you squint and you hold your eyes up and you look to where it was coming from, and down into the sort of next area where the mountain goes down and flattens out. Off to the right, there's a sheet of ice that kind of hangs over the cliff. That what hit you in the face was the sunlight bouncing off this piece of ice, but it looks very strangely out of place. Like the ice is floating there, not actually attached to the mountain. It's at a
I imagine
vertical angle.
So like this kind of catches Percy out of the corner of his eye, and he kind of, and he like looks at it a minute, and then like he stops. So like I assume Kai is like behind him, like kind of smacks into him. He's like, "Hey, what is that?" He kind of points off.
You all kind of look over to this, and yeah, it's just this like sheet of ice that's vertically propelled in the air, just kind of hanging there, but it's not attached to the mountain.
How close are we to it?
It's down another 100 feet or so, basically in that secondary ravine. The next one that would be your next checkpoint on the way down. It's right down there, just off to the right.
Maybe we should check it out.
Yeah, but not knowing what it is, we probably don't all want to like go up there because
Probably not.
in case it's a trap or it starts an avalanche or.
I mean, it's on the
I know
way
what
down.
Troy is thinking it might be, but Percy wouldn't have an idea. I can go over there if somebody wants to go with me.
I'll go.
Well, it's on the way down. We're going that way anyway.
Okay,
Just
well,
slightly.
maybe when we get close enough, everybody else kind of hang back 50 or 100 feet. And I'll go up and look at it for traps or investigate it. I assume I have the best investigation in the party.
No,
It's
yeah,
actually ice.
Mine's actually better by 1.
Then I can manipulate it a little bit.
True, especially if it's magical ice, you might be able to figure anything out about it.
Let's just get close enough to the ice first.
So, as you guys are traversing down this next slope, making your way to this next secondary ravine.
Percy will actually take out his hand crossbow at this point. Are we like still roped together and stuff, or
I
don't think we ever really roped together.
No, we did
some
some.
people did, not everyone.
so? I think I was, if I remember right, I was roped. I said I wanted to be roped because
I think you're.
the thing was is Percy's light enough that if he like falls, Drax
Yeah,
is probably
I-
strong enough he can just go, hey, you're not.
Where you going, buddy?
Yeah, I
So-
think it was just some of the smaller, lighter people were anchored to some of the bigger people in case they did fall. They'd be like,
So
it's just
So doing that, then
Who's anchored to who? Then, real quick, if you're anchored at all.
I would have probably been asked to be anchored to either Drax or Nox, probably Drax since he knows the mountains. Because I wouldn't want to pull Nox off of a icy cliff.
I would be fine.
You would be. I might not be. But no, just thinking of it non-metagaming wise.
Yeah.
That would be the one that would make sense. Drax is from the mountains, he's lived in the mountains. That would be the best one for Percy. And Percy would probably be the most likely one to slip in. Actually, he probably would not be the most likely one to slip in.
But also depending on how deep the snow gets,
Right.
your height might prove to be a problem.
Right.
Yeah, considering you're the shortest one of the bunch.
Tops you on my shoulder, you'll be alright.
Kai
I
probably
think he
tied
is.
herself to Nox then,
Yeah.
because she's the next smallest of the party and she's
Yeah.
very.
Theo, are you tied down or are you free falling?
Oh, I'm free.
Free falling.
Kidding me?
What?
I'm as free
Okay.
as a bird.
So- Did you guys?
So no, that's the reason I asked that is so then, knowing that he is roped to Drax, so if he does fall, he's not going to fall like clear off the mountain. Percy will take out his hand crossbow and make sure it's loaded in case any danger comes.
Okay.
It doesn't have a great range, but it's better than nothing.
Right. As you guys are making your way down, there's a moment where all of you take a step and it is pure ice. Ooh. Undetected under the
Thick snow.
thick snow, where you all begin to lose your balance. I'd like all of you to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh
I don't
boy.
like you. Well, it's not as bad as I thought. Ooh, 10.
16.
Rolled a 9 for a 17.
Yeah.
I'm a rogue. I got dex. Okay.
That's a 14. No, 12.
Roll for story.
She rolled for Anastasia too.
Hey, my other saving throws are not good. That's
I rolled a
I
6
got
with
lots of
plus
skills.
6.
I don't. I'm
So I got 12.
I'm very charismatic.
Really?
Especially for an idiot.
That's my golden retrievers. So
Everybody kind of immediately catches themselves, with the exception of Theo and Anastasia.
Oh, no.
However, Anastasia is tethered to Astorio, and he made his save to catch her with the rope.
How close is Theo to me?
Theo,
Or to anybody, really.
Where
You-
is Theo?
are unfortunately not attached to anyone.
I'm
So
blowing it down the hill.
as you all kind of lose your balance, but stay upright, but in this sort of like freeze frame moment where it's like,
Freeze
oh
frame.
shit, like when you almost slip and you just kind of stand there for a second to, you know, put your soul back in your body.
Good description.
Theo slips and lands. You land on your back
On
into
the shield.
into the snow, but you immediately begin.
Can I make a reaction to try and grab him on his way by?
Yeah, can any of us try and make a reaction to grab him?
Strong, so I'm not gonna try. I'll let one person try and grab him, but if you fail, you fall with him.
Well, you're stronger. Your call. Let me.
Just so you understand, I'm cool either way.
You do what Drax would instinctively do.
reach for
Which
him.
would be
So,
reach
so
out to
you're
grab
reaching
it.
for him. So
Yes.
before you roll real quick, does acrobatics help you at all here?
Meh. Doesn't hurt.
Okay. Roll.
More athletic.
Yeah. Fortunately, not athleticism here.
I mean, it doesn't hurt like
I'm
it was base intelligence.
proficient in acrobatics.
I know.
Go ahead and roll it as a acrobatics.
This would be
Strength acrobatics.
This would be a reflex saving throw in Pathfinder terms.
Is Drex within arm's reach of me?
No.
I was up front.
Yeah, you guys are kind of
And
on
then-
opposite
Yeah, that's
ends
fine.
here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was willing to give
I think you took the back end anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna
deliberately.
try and give you guidance.
Oh. All right. We're not going for a ride today. So 18.
18. Theo, as you slip and fall and begin, Drex reaches out and grabs onto the staff that's like sticking out of your back and holds onto it like you're a lollipop.
Come here, you.
What? Whoa.
And you kind of start like turtling a little bit because even though he's got a hold of you, you're still kind of slipping, and so like you're like. But after
I feel Percy's doing that thing like for somebody I've never actually really skied before, but like where he's got like his feet like
Locked in.
duck footed in front of him, like as he's scooching because he's starting to slide
Like
too.
penguin.
but
Yep.
Because he wears
Ty's got a
Drax
couple
does
wings.
Yeah.
catch you and just kind of with his strength just kind of hoists you back and lifts you kind of back over to him and back
Upright.
up on your feet.
I immediately.
Alright. I got you.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. I got your back.
I need to get a cricket so I can add sometimes to the back of that damn shut.
Beautiful.
I probably would have reached out to grab the staff, which means the tentacles would have like around its end.
Use it as like an oar and you're like
Ty's using her quarterstaff to like brace herself into this ice, so.
Nox probably just stomped his feet, being heavily armored. He probably just like.
now being aware of this kind of slick sheet of ice that is
Situation.
beneath you, you all very carefully continue treading downwards.
Percy will take his crowbar out and have that in his other hand. So if he starts to fall like Theo, he can just try to smack him into the ice or whatever and
Don't we
stop
have
himself.
pythons?
We
Yes.
do, but pythons are used like to secure your rope when you're going up.
But it's still something sharp.
We could take the time to, because I have hammer and pythons, and I bought two other sets of climbing gear. So
Yeah, I'm just saying, in case of an emergency, they are
So we
sharp
could do that.
enough to
Yeah.
try and catch yourself if
So-
you don't have
Yeah.
any means of catching yourself.
Yes.
When this is all over, we have to come back and sled them. This is all.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
I think I know much better and safer hills.
Much,
Better.
Much better and safer hills, please.
Better.
The dads have spoken.
The one time they agree on something, it kills our fun.
How about you build up your skill and your experience before you start
Can you-
taking more.
Could you polymorph into like
slopes.
just like a sled?
No.
Oh,
I can't do inanimate
We're gonna get
objects.
the kids a sled.
I wish you could wild shape into a penguin so
Although-
we could go penguin sledding.
I could probably wild shape into a walrus.
Jamaica, we have a bobsled.
what's a walrus?
Sled team.
It's a fat thing that lies on the beach.
My dad?
So what good would that do us?
Hey, look at it, Doyle.
Somebody's
So
excellent.
how does that help us?
Oh man.
Belly flop.
Oh. I just figured if they were flat and laid on the beach, they'd just like stick to the side of the mountain.
Yep.
Wouldn't that be something?
Percy having only the
You
only time
guys
Percy's ever
do
been to the sea was with you guys.
Successfully traverse this area of terrain down into this secondary ravine. You're about 200, 250 feet from the top, from where you had climbed over, and into this little small circular pocket of a few trees that eventually would lead down. This next distance between this second and the third ravine is over twice the distance, though it's a few hundred feet, so a much more dangerous traverse here. But as you are kind of looking down over it, off to the right is that
Floating ice thingy.
glint of ice.
Okay.
Do we want to risk it for that biscuit, or do we just want to make it to the next checkpoint?
Let's go see what's going on.
Something's not right with
It could be part of what happened to,
it. Belzar.
yeah,
True.
him.
So, me and you gonna walk over there?
Jesus, you think I have a problem
Sure.
with extended car warranty?
Means he's got to go with you because you're tethered to him.
I got you.
Okay, so Drax and I, and if Theo wants to go with us, we'll walk over and inspect the...
Okay.
Tell
So
the others
this
just to hear.
luckily doesn't involve
Stay
you
still,
having
let's
to leave
watch you
the
struggle to try and go.
flat surface that you're on. You walk a little ways out of your way to get there. But as you are coming closer, you start hearing the sound of what sounds like running water. And as you get closer and closer, the ice here is floating, but it is attached to a string of ice that connects inward into the mountain as a frozen waterfall comes over the side here.
Well, that's not so mysterious.
Do we see an access to the water?
There is behind it.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a quick perception check to see if anybody's around.
I have some ideas here. So, this ice wall.
Yes. So, Percy rolled for perception to kind of look around.
Mainly looking for danger, but just take it.
Yeah, because it does. You couldn't see it from away, and really you can't see it until you get up close because it. Between the snow and the sunlight, the ice that connects it to the mountain is basically invisible. But when you get close up, you can physically see it. That it's not just floating there. There is something connecting it to the mountain where you can hear the water, and the water is running through the ice.
Okay.
It's just this ice that has formed has basically just formed a protective layer in front of it. But behind it, you can see where it does open into a lake inside.
Okay. And is there direct access to the water, or do you have to go through the ice?
You would either have to go through it or around it. Because the lake behind it is not completely frozen.
Okay.
But the water that
Okay,
runs
so-
out and goes downward is protected by the
Water
ice.
comes out. There's ice here that goes down to basically where the waterfall stops.
That whole drop is ice, though.
Okay. Is it water at the bottom, or is there a layer of ice above it?
A layer of ice above it.
And how far down is it? Can we see that far?
You can. It's pretty far, though. Basically, it's probably like 300-400 feet.
Can I get to a point where I can touch the ice of the waterfall?
Yep.
Okay. Did we ever decide to shape water in no ice?
My ruling on it would be yes, but it is limited to its like five square foot, however its dimensions work.
Okay.
Only for the purpose though of turning it into water.
Right.
Yes.
So, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like there's any good point to this. if it's 300 to 400 feet, it's not like we could tie a rope off to anything and just rappel down. I mean, you might be able to get in there, but the rest of us wouldn't be able to follow.
Okay, I would like to melt a 5-foot cubic hole through the ice so I can access the water now.
Okay, you could do that.
Okay, that's using shape water, which is a cantrip.
Oh, okay. I was like, you're gonna use a spell slot for this?
I'll be back.
Okay.
And I dive into the water.
Oh god, you're gonna be freezing.
So are you going around the ice? Like before it drops
Basically,
off?
I'm basically, you know, wherever I have access to this hole that I just created, I'm going through that hole. Yes, I understand that there may be a drop for water, but I am going to wild shape as soon as I hit the water.
So before you do this, I just want to clarify something, just so everyone's on the same page. So, if this is roughly the ravine where you guys are,
Okay.
and this water falls over on this half,
Okay.
if it is hanging off and like going like straight down, like this,
Yep.
the ice, there's a layer of ice that is covering the top layer with the water still running behind it, but the ice is just protecting it.
Right.
It opens, it goes back
Right.
into a cavern where there's water here. So you could,
That's what I'm wanting to do is access the cavern.
yeah.
So,
So you could,
he's going through the ice.
yeah. So you wouldn't have to go through the ice. You could just go around it.
Oh, okay. That's what I want to do then.
Okay.
That's cool.
I'm just trying to
You wanted
save
to
you a
swim.
300-foot drop.
He wanted to swim upward.
He wanted to pull a Minecraft and go up the waterfall.
It turned into a salmon.
I thought you were out of wild shapes, though.
No, I have one wild shape left.
Stoya's out of wild shapes. Okay, so you go around, and you have free access to the water. From here, where it's like a flat level, you can basically do the same thing. You can make a 5-foot hole in the thin layer of ice that goes over this lake that leads to the waterfall, and then I assume you do the same thing, right? Okay. So are you still humanoid form when you?
I will probably be humanoid when I hit the water,
Mhm.
but will immediately wild shape into something aquatic.
Penguin.
Might want to do something that's adapted cold water.
Seal.
Alaskan
Either
trout.
one of those is good for me. I just don't know if Theo's ever seen one of them.
What about a trout?
Well, you were on ships for a long, long time, weren't you? So you would have
Right.
surely seen a seal.
Maybe.
A dolphin.
I would say it wouldn't be uncommon, especially because you were on the western side and, kind of up near that northern region. I would say, probably wasn't a common thing, but it's, every now and again maybe a stray seal or two if you are like over in this quadrant.
Okay. Sure.
Seal, because I assume a seal doesn't have like a high
CR rating?
CR. Yeah.
I'm not sure. It probably may not even have stats.
It does.
I'm pretty sure I remember seeing it. Might have been in Icewind Dale.
It is a. Oh. Well, I guess technically it doesn't have one, but somebody made one, and they consider it a CR 1/4.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. You have
Well, the one I had was
an
a seal.
AC of 11 with 9 hit points.
If anybody tries to club me, I'm
Yeah.
not really happy.
AC of 11, 9 hit points, and a 40-foot swim speed
Okay.
with a charisma of 5.
Sure.
Because Yes, you turn into a seal.
Okay. And I will swim into the cave.
Okay. So it's in the water. You swim until, which is not incredibly far, but it is probably 70, 80 feet or so until there is no longer ice above you, where it is condensed and warm enough in this section of the cave that the ice can't consistently form. Like it's there, it's trying, but it's so thin that just by touching it you can move it and it breaks.
Okay.
And so you reach this point and you kind of pop your head up.
I'll do the seal thing where I just...
And
The seal thing or the Navy seal thing? Because one requires significantly more grunting.
in front of you, the lake continues forward about another 120 feet or so. So it's a pretty long stretch of water before it hits another waterfall that leads upward, where the water coming down isn't like raging, it's not violent, it's like a soft, just really soft stream that kind of turns over and runs down into this lake.
Does there look like there's any sort of access to the upper lake along the edges?
So
Or
off
would it
to
have
the
to be through the water?
off on the right hand side, actually, and on the left, on both sides of where the waterfall is, there are holes that are in the wall. One of them has a descending slope and one of them has an ascending slope.
Okay. I think that's where we need to go. So I want to swim back to where I can see Percy.
Okay. This takes roughly 2.5 minutes that he's gone. Eventually he comes back and this seal pops its head through the hole.
Oh, look at that little guy, Drax. Wonder where he came from.
I need this to
No,
be
I really don't know.
so bad. I need that to be my alert notification.
I should know this, but I don't. I think he wants us to follow him.
Oh, Theo? Is that you? Oh, it's Theo! Drax, look, it's Theo! And so he'll look back to the rest of the others and wave them over.
Okay, we'll begin this. Matron.
Steven's a thief.
You missed all the fun. So,
Like 3 sodas in the last 2 hours.
how are we supposed to... It's going to be awfully cold.
There's a path on the side.
Okay, so we don't have to go through the water?
It's only about 5 foot wide, but you could basically.
Some of us would have to turn sideways.
Yeah, you could shimmy your way against it if you had to, but there is enough space on both
So have you
sides.
sucking your breath and your ass
Okay.
spits.
I mean, I know you said there was an opening that you could go around the ice, but I didn't realize it went all the way.
Yes.
So we will slowly make our way in
I've got thick thighs.
after everybody else get over there.
Okay.
I will swim ahead.
Okay. I assume you're hugging the right-hand side, the one that goes upward.
Whichever one was the closest, probably.
Yeah. Well, the right-hand side is the only one that you would have access to without having to cross the water somehow.
Okay, so then yeah.
It rolled on your side.
So we go on in.
Steve has learned to belly drum.
But you guys see the same thing that Theo had saw, where there's a really soft, gentle waterfall coming over the top at the back end of the lake, where there is a hole in the wall that does have a ascending sort of ramp, like
Does he eventually know
road.
what to do though?
Okay.
So
Go up
we
that.
need to find a hole in the wall. They must have really good
How are you
booze
gonna
if they're
climb
hole
in
the
that
wall.
form, Theo?
I will make an attempt to swim up to the waterfall.
And
It does
Drax-
not take you long to figure out that you cannot.
If you'd been a salmon, maybe.
Kind of figured that.
Worth a try.
Could we tie him on a rope to one of you guys,
How
bigger
much
people?
You could flop out of the water and just like.
Well, yeah, but how can he go up the?
Yeah.
Yeah, my land speed's
How
not
much
going
do
to be very
seals
fast.
typically weigh?
A lot.
A lot.
Kind of chunky.
We can drag
There's a
him.
lot of blubber on those things.
Your land speed is 20 feet. So not too slow.
We can drag
Lay him on his side. We can roll him.
Up to 300 pounds.
Maybe I'll lift him up.
You're gonna carry a seal.
A
Uphill.
wriggling seal.
Sure, they'll try.
What we can do is he rolls
What?
and he just keeps
Give me a
flipping.
strength check.
I will allow him to lift me.
9 hits!
Wait. Oh.
Add the D4.
I finally am remembering to use it, guys!
That didn't help.
Fuck. Bro, I still tried.
10.
The smallest breed of seal is the ringed seal with an average weight of 110 to 150 pounds. That's the smallest.
It's not that you can't lift him. You can lift him.
It's getting him up
I'm wet and
the
slippery.
wall.
It's going to be walking with him for an unknown amount of time. It is enough that if you wanted to pull him out of the water and set him on land, easy enough. As you yoink him out and you give thought to just kind of hoist
You know
him over
what?
your shoulder and you're like, maybe not.
You get too old for this.
And just pat Theo seal head.
Nice try.
I start digging around. Do we have any dried fish left?
Don't we have shields? We can just put them on a shield and just...
We are being inconspicuous.
Oh god, I love it.
I mean, if it looks like it's going to be too much of an inconvenience, I will come out of wild shape.
Well,
Again, you can. There's nothing stopping you from.
I will flop my way behind the group as we head up.
Well, they're all trying to figure that out. Percy's going to quick switch out his gloves into his fingerless gloves, and then he's going to try to go up the embankment to like do a quick look around, see what's up there.
Okay.
Or up the. You said there was 2 different paths.
There's the one path on the right, which is where you guys are, that goes upward. The other path is on the opposite side of the lake that goes downward.
Yeah, so he'll try to go up the one we're on and look around while they're all down there trying to figure out what to do.
Make a perception check.
Not good. 10.
10?
Yes. This is
So, this hole again is very similar to kind of like the side of the cave. It's only about 5 foot wide, so it's a single file, one at a time, and it goes upward at an angle for about 50 feet or so before it levels off into this upper area where, as you get close to the top, you can hear the sound of voices.
He will stop before he gets fully exposed then.
You're still.
I assume I'm like just like the ledge is here and I'm like just below the ledge.
Yep.
But I assume that there's plenty of sound from the waterfall down below, that any noises they'd make would be covered somewhat.
The waterfall, because it's not super raging, it's very, very calm. It does make noise, but it's not a lot. However, the voices seem to be chattering amongst themselves, and so it doesn't look like they are aware of anything. Unfortunately, with the kind of echo of the cavern plus the water running, it is difficult from where you're at.
Like I couldn't discern what they're saying or anything.
But you can hear them.
So I will real quick try to scamper back down.
Okay.
And be like, shh, everybody, shh. There's people up there.
like in mid flop.
There's somebody up there. So, how do we want to go about this? I don't think they heard you. They were talking.
try and get up as close as we can, because if we're all stuck single file in this hole, it could be very bad for us.
Percy looks around real quick. He's like, can any of you make me quiet? Completely quiet?
For a moment, I think about smacking him with a fin.
I can. I have to go with you.
Well, I was thinking when I had that potion earlier, they could smell me. And they could maybe hear me. So if I could get rid of the hearing part of it, so the only thing they'd have to rely on was smell, that there'd be a good chance that I could catch them unawares.
On that note, as long as everyone stays close to me, I can make us all a little more quiet.
I'm with a story on this one.
I don't have any other option. Unless you want to use me as a ring-a-ding-ding distraction.
I can be pretty quiet on my own. Would you like me to try to go up on my own and get around them?
Why don't you go ahead and scout and see what you see, and we'll trail like 20 feet behind.
Percy thinks for a minute. He's like, he's trying to think of like what kind of animal he could try to mimic in here. He's like, I guess I'll just whistle. If there's anything bad or if you guys need to hurry or anything.
Get a bleed on your harmonica.
I think
I
they would know
could
it's
do
not a
that,
normal
but-
sound.
I'll try to any kind of design. So it's kind of like a, kind of almost like wind blowing through something. Whistle. And then he will real quick, he takes it out, drinks his other potion, and goes up.
Do you untie yourself first?
Well, I assume we were untied going in here. I guess I should have clarified
Potion of invisibility.
that. Yep.
You hit 2, so comes down.
Sure. Yeah. In the meantime, while he's doing that and heading up, Astoya will cast Pass Without Trace.
But you got to stay within what, 30 feet of him?
Yep.
Stoyo's going to get one firm, a hat on the shoulder, and thank you.
You had that at one time, didn't you? But you didn't take it today.
Right, I traded it out for
Disadvantage for heavy armor.
Okay. So Percy, go ahead and give me a stealth check.
And I only have plus
Ouch.
you know,
Now Kraken's letting me down.
Three,
It's a 5 for a 16.
That's alright. They
Yeah.
So do I still roll with disadvantage, or does it have without a trace?
so you
It's
still
still
use-
disadvantage, but you add 10.
Yeah. Disadvantage plus 10.
Okay.
And everyone else roll, add your stealth with an additional plus 10.
Not bad.
Rolling really good for me. So.
Thank God for the plus 10.
Wow. While he casts, he looks to Anastasia,
No, yeah, no shit.
and mutters something under his breath, to which she kind of replies with a head nod, and she will shift into her wolf form.
Is it stealth?
Yep. With the plus 10.
I rolled 5.
21!
31.
Wow.
15. I rolled a 6.
Nice.
No.
I got a
Should be
16.
19 then.
16.
I got
Right?
a,
16?
16.
I got a 19. I correct myself. Because I forgot the.
Wow.
I didn't math right, so it's.
The seal is like.
The seal is the quietest of everybody. It's like, what the hell?
I rolled a 10 plus 1.
He's on his
That is a
side and
seal.
he's slowly rolling.
They see me rolling.
Well, seals can do the owl thing with their head.
It's true!
I hate that.
Yep. It's how they can make
Percy,
maneuvers
you go up
underwater
first.
without stopping their neck.
Look
And,
around.
you go out, you poke your head around and kind of look
Yeah,
out.
like I assume, like
Step
whether
out
it's
because
whether it's
you're
around or up over the ledge, yeah, just to see what these voices are. Are they the
Yeah,
same people
so
I saw
it
before?
comes up like at an angle and then it
Okay.
pulls up. So
Yeah. You'll sneaky up.
you poke your head out, and there is a group of 5 that you see. They are chattering amongst one another. I don't believe, what languages do you know?
I only know Common, Sylvan, and Thieves' Camp.
Okay.
And I can't speak with animals once a day, so if it's some kind of animal speak,
You've already done that.
I already
today,
used
no?
that today though.
No, it's some sort of angle speak.
But I would at least recognize it if it's some kind of animal.
It is not a language you recognize, but they are conversing with one another. They seem to be a bit.
But it's Percy.
Their tone of voice. Actually, give me an insight check.
That's a nat 20 for a.
Damn.
I already
21.
made a good joke.
So
Yeah, I'm getting them on these rolls. I couldn't get a nat 20 on my stealth roll.
you don't
Like you needed it.
Yeah.
We have like a
So
that's a-
10,
that's
because
a
you
bad
guys are
roll,
already
18.
here, this secondary passageway was basically a shortcut to save time, but it required a perception check of 20 to find it, which
Hey.
Nat 20.
and then this here, another natural 20 on the insight. So you can tell from their tone of voice, they appear to be panicked. There's a lot of, they're not yelling or arguing with one another, but they seem to be in a very intense,
Animated and gesticulating.
yes, very intense conversation, where behind them, they have various, like, supplies that looks like lab equipment of some kind. They have things in jars and containers that they have various labels attached to them that they seem to be in the process of moving. With your insight check, it seems this avalanche equally caught them off guard as it did you guys.
Do they have any type of marking or insignia or anything? I mean, do they seem like affiliated with the other people?
They are equipped
Okay.
in leather armors of various kinds. They do have weapons attached, and you can tell they. Yeah, that's what you see from here.
Okay. I will sneak back down. I assume they're coming up the path as I go down.
Yeah, they're about 20 feet away
So
from
I
you.
imagine Percy, like at first, he like looks around, he sees all this, he's like, okay. And he starts to go like this, like to hold out, like there's 5 people, and he's like, oh shit, I'm invisible. So then he like sneaks back down, and who's leading the way for the rest of the party?
Probably Kai?
I didn't know it would be Kai or Estoyo or who.
Nox just for extra.
Soren's gotta be kind of in the middle of the party,
Just
so.
for extra security measures, probably hanging out the back.
Yeah. Estoyo is probably right in the middle,
He's a
so that he can
boy.
accompany.
Probably bring him to the rear since I'm slower than everybody.
I'm like
So,
right behind him.
He'll get close enough to Kai that he can whisper, be
Okay.
heard, but think that it's safe. And I mean, if you want me to stealth check again and everything, I will. But he's like, there's 5 people up there. They seem to be confused and worked up, excited about something. Like they were either trying to get something in or out of here. And it seems like the same thing that foiled our plans foiled their plans. I'm going to sneak back up and try to circle around them if you guys want to come up. And I don't know if they're hostile or not. I'd assume so, but I'm not sure. And then with that, he's like, next thing she knows, like he's talking to her, and then she's like, "What?" And he's gone. No response.
Like a fart in a whirlwind.
Yep. And he's gonna sneak back up, and I will try to stay as far away from them as I can. I'm not sure what this cave looks like, if I'm going right or left, but I will try to, like, along the wall, go around them, maybe even using the crates and barrels and stuff that you described, and use that for cover even though I'm invisible, and try to get around on the far side of them.
There is
Ooh, out comes the marker.
the marker.
The marker.
So the path you guys would be traveling along would be roughly here. And when it opens up into this cave, it's actually fairly large. I'm going to draw this.
Didn't look this spot.
cave is larger.
So it's got in the backside here. There's a much wider path that opens up here at another upward
Slope.
angle, and it cuts off there, and in the middle there is still this over a little bit again. But there's still the lake that goes here with the waterfall that drops off.
So the path we're on kind of...
You guys are basically right next to it.
Okay. That's fair.
And then where are these guys at?
They are like up here. Standing and conversing.
Okay, so it's going to be kind of hard for me to get around them, even invisible. Because they're standing right in front of
But they've got like various, like nothing too big like barrels or crates. It's all like, I mean, I guess maybe like small boxes, but it's inside these boxes is like there's numerous like vials and jars and things of that sort.
Things that if they dropped it, it'd make a mess.
Yes.
So I'll have my rapier in one hand and my hand crossbow. I'm still invisible. I'm still invisible. I'm going to take the time to coat my rapier with oil of magic weapon, or the oil, you know, that stuff.
The +1 magic weapon oil
Yep.
thing.
And I am going to coat, I think it's 6 of my crossbow bolts with the wyvern venom. And then,
Shit.
as I come into the room, and then I will make my way around to here.
Okay.
Wait, I want to see the range on my hand crossbow real quick. I think it's 2060. 30.
3120.
So, do any of them look like the leader? Is there one that looks particularly like a leader type?
Not really. They all kind of look the same.
They all look like a group of frat boys waiting for their captain.
Yeah,
to
that'd be
show
perfect.
up.
I can hit him from there and be in my range increment. And then I'm going to wait and see how long it takes the rest of the party to arrive.
So after hearing this from Percy, Kai, what do you do?
We just gotta go. 5 people. Panicked. Worried. He went back on ahead. It's just kind of...
Did they take them out?
He said that they are most likely possible. So, I just wait.
I was gonna say, I know you guys are like whispering for game, but
Camera's
the
like
microphone's probably not picking it up.
That's and I'm just gonna keep creeping
There's
forward.
only 2 ways out. They didn't come from this way.
It's just whether or not we want to leave in combat today.
Again, if they find us in a
Down
line
here.
like this, stuck in this hole, it's probably much worse for us.
I was just gonna kind of keep creeping forward, just...
As long as we're all unanimous on this course of action.
Okay. move.
So you guys approach here.
Oh my god, I can even break out my mini.
We finally get to use our mini. I have a mini for and it's a wolf right now.
Can somebody do me a huge favor and just beat me? Yeah, that's so far 100% out of my reach.
Because Theo's in the back in seal form. He's moving.
He's the slowest.
He's the slowest.
He's just a slow guy. It's okay. As soon as he gets to the water, he'll be alright. Just dive under.
We have.
I know, but I'm lazy.
You're not upset.
But she's tiny.
Yeah, she couldn't take her white wolf form because it's too big. She wouldn't fit in this hall.
I mean, she could, but she'd be squeezing the entire time.
Actually, she cannot because she's a white wolf is a large creature. Yeah. Physically,
Or what?
fit.
5.
10 by 10.
Yeah. They take up a 10-foot square.
In my tent. I know the stats of a large creature from the Dryad and her
But-
affinity for turning into bears.
So, Percy, you are kind of sitting there with the hand crossbow waiting. You look over your shoulder and you see Kai kind of poke her head.
You see the
in.
shock of curly red hair.
I'm waiting to see how those guys react when they come up. To see if they immediately go to attack or run or what.
So you at the entrance, what do you do? Well, are you, so in this order, this would have you stepping into the room. Is that what you're doing?
Likely.
Okay.
Trying to get everybody out of the line.
Sure. So, one of them in the back kind of looks over and sees you kind of step in, and he points, catching the attention of the other 4 that all kind of swiftly turn, and they say something in an unknown language. I think we covered this.
You go with that with him.
Yeah,
Languages?
Common giant.
common and celestial.
Common Druidic and Sylvan.
Common, Elvish, Goblin, Dwarvish.
Nope, none of you understand. As they point and they speak in language, and they immediately go to kind of draw the weapons at their side.
Okay, so as soon as I see them start to draw their weapons, I will unleash my shot.
Okay. So I'll give you your basically readied action. For everyone else, I'll have you guys roll initiative.
So my question would be, this is very tricky.
Got cleric initiative.
You?
I did not.
Would this be considered surprise?
Oh, for his assassinate.
I mean, you are invisible.
So I will. This is a very touchy subject with 5e. It's very unclear. So assassinate says you have advantage on attack. I think I clearly have advantage.
Right.
Because I have advantage on attack rolls on any creature that hasn't taken a turn in the combat yet, and you score a hit against any hit you score against a creature that is surprised is a critical hit. The question comes in with surprise. It says, and I don't have my DM's guide with me. I had this all pulled up last week in case it's
So the technical ruling of how this works is when initiative is rolled, the surprise factor is lost.
correct.
For that particular point of the assassinate ability. You still gain advantage on it, which the advantage gives you, your sneak attack, regardless if anyone else is there or not. But the actual trigger of assassinate is lost when combat starts, because at that point, they are no longer surprised to be in combat. You firing a bolt at them from nowhere and hitting them, is surprising to them, but they are not prepared for combat.
So that's what I was trying to
Yes.
kind of
So-
argue or say. I mean, because to me, this is where I think it's very open to interpretation. Because it actually says they're aware of the threat. Well, to me, yes, they're aware of a threat. They're ready for combat. They have no effing clue that I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
None at all. So, yes, they're ready for a threat. They're not ready for me to be a threat. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's-
he's going to be dead anyway, likely. Because with my sneak attack, I'm going to be doing...
Well, and then the wyvern poison's gonna do a shit ton too.
I'm doing a total of... What's my crossbow? I'm doing 11d6 plus 5.
Okay.
That's just from the.
Assuming I get a hit.
And that's not counting the poison either.
No, that is counting.
Okay.
Make your attack. Crit.
He
24.
almost crit. He almost crit.
Easy kill.
I got my initiative.
It's Troy's gonna roll. Remember the Chevy thing?
Don't do the Chevy roll.
Oh no!
No, actually.
Those are 6s.
Okay.
There's 10,
I do see a few ones.
20, 30,
5.
40 points of damage. But, you know what? We'll do this. I'm gonna line these up. You pick a number between 1 and 8. Because one of the rest of them will be my poison damage. Because he does get a saving throw for the poison. To half it.
Okay. 4.
So, 10. 22 of that was poison.
It's a con save.
Yeah.
So I'm looking up. DC 15 con save.
You rolled a 14.
It's all for naught anyway, so it was a total of 40 points of damage.
Yeah. Who'd you shoot?
This guy dies.
Drop me down till it's white out.
That
So-
would kill Kai.
That bolt
15.
comes out of nowhere, and that
It would
guy
kill Kai. Oh my
is
gosh.
the guy who pointed. As he points and everyone's attentions kind of turn, they reach for their weapons. The sound of a bolt, and it spit everywhere. Hits him right in the neck, and everyone kind of turns and looks back, which this does break your invisibility.
Right.
But they turn and look back at this guy who's like reaching for his throat, as blood not only starts coming out of the hole in his throat, but also begins kind of coming out of the corners of his eyes. And then his body turns to dust. Like a blow of the wind kind of swept him away as his body, and his armor and stuff just to the ground.
Whatever he's holding too.
Yes.
Interesting.
But yes, initiatives now then.
You got it.
As they turn and look at
I rolled it earlier and I put it back on my mat just so that just in case because I didn't know if you were gonna use this or
I have
that.
a +3. And I rolled a 6 total.
Okay.
Welcome to this
Drex, what'd you get? Or, I'm sorry, 20 to 25.
I got a natural 20 for it. 23.
We're gonna be sitting here.
50 to 20.
Oh,
Oh, I didn't roll. Oh, yes.
we're gonna be sitting here for a minute.
10 to 15.
11. I rolled really low.
Yeah.
6.
5 to 10.
Technically, I'm a 6, but 8.
Nox and Drex, who would like to go first?
I'm in
Okay, big guy will go first.
Drex? Yeah.
Yeah, when you were like, yeah, let's roll for initiative, and you were like, 20 to 15, I'm like, we gonna be here a minute.
Well, that's alright. My bad guys rolled a natural 1. So
Oh!
somehow they did worse
I
than you.
miraculously get to go before a bad guy. Ooh.
So it will be
Yes.
the order will be Kai, Astoyo, Percy, Anastasia, Theo, Drex, Nox, and if my bad guys are alive, them. It's not looking great for them. I will not lie.
Well, on the bright side, they are far enough away that some people might not be able to get within range.
They are 100% in my range.
They're in
Well,
range.
right.
It can't be anywhere worse.
Yeet the seal at him!
Steven!
Can I throw seal?
Seal bowling! Seal bowling!
Put the seal on the sled and let it rip!
I throw the seal.
Pop the
Kai
seal!
first.
Can we?
Let me double check my movement speed.
You're right in front of me.
So
Yeah.
what I want to
45.
see is this seal animated to the song I like to move it, and it's just shuffling along.
Okay, so hear me out.
45.
Theo pops out of wild shape and Theo sits on a sled. You throw the sled with Theo on it, and then right when Theo gets there, Astorio polymorphs him into a man.
Yes! I agree. I like this idea.
But polymorph is touch though, isn't it? So Astoria would have to be with
How
him.
about we save that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's save that idea and not
Delayed
use it.
polymorph.
Let's save that and not use it
Like
on
a
low level
glove.
bugs.
One of those trap flips.
Wait till I can use it myself.
Okay, we have a plan for the future.
So,
Wait.
you're worried about them not getting a turn. At least this is it what happened to us on
I
Friday.
will
Final
eventually
boss, I
get a
heard.
fly speed.
Not mad.
Yeah. So just fly up
Nope,
in the
it
air.
is
and
a
then-
creature you can
Here's the
see
thing.
within
Take
range.
a level of druid.
It is not
so you,
touch.
So you
Oh.
fly up,
It's
You
not touch,
turn
though.
into
It's
a-
not touch.
60-foot range.
wild shape into a whale, fall on the bad guys, and then that'll just pop you out of the form.
We could do what we like instead of like using him as bowling. Is eventually when I get a fly speed, which we at it anyway. I'll be able to get enough strength. I'll be able to just carry Theo, and then I'll just dive bomb him in, and you can just turn into whatever the fuck you want that's large.
Just, this is how we defeat the beholder.
Yes.
Natural
We can-
fly speed, wild shape. No, it would be out of the magic, anti-magic field.
Okay. So Kai, what are you doing?
I run up to the closest guy, and I'm gonna just start beating the ever-living shit out of him with my fists and feet.
Go for it.
Make sure he can't have any children.
Plus, me running up here gives you another target for.
I won't even get out of the hallway.
Because you're a seal.
It's a natural 7 for a 13.
13 does not hit, unfortunately.
Okay. Second attack.
Mhm.
I was so worried that was that one. That's a even last. Sorry, guys.
Is this your unarmed strike?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm doing, and then flurry. So
you're, okay, you're using flurry.
yeah,
Okay.
I just need to hit once. But that's a 19 to hit.
Hits.
For 8 magical bludgeoning damage.
Yup.
Can he make a con save for me, please?
Stunning strike.
5.
He's stunned!
Kind of walk up with your staff and you kind of take a few wide swings.
No, not staff. I'm not even using it today. Because it's not magic when I use my staff, but if I use my fists and feet, key empowered strikes, they count as magical.
Okay. So you take a few wide swings. He kind of dips out of the way of the first two, and then kind of right with the last one, you just kind of pop him right in the face, and he just kind of freezes in place. Anything else?
I'm gonna
That's dirty.
pop him one more time because I've got one more left out of my flurry. These don't only hit for anything. Yeah, that's gonna miss.
Okay.
Didn't say
Stoyo's next.
I'm just gonna like, Percy, this one!
Might.
I rolled almost max damage on my die.
Stoyo is going to move here. And he kind of reaches his left hand out towards the lake, and the water from it kind of comes up and courses through his hand as he goes like this, and he's like, Duck! He's going to cast Ice Knife.
Kai's just gonna kind
I
of.
love that.
And he's going to target
Duck, where?
this guy.
So you can do splash
bold.
dazzle damage to the other two.
Yep, yeah.
Ice knife is
Ice Knife is
Such a good level 1 spell.
I don't think
That's even better.
Oh boy, the story of a homie.
But he hit.
Yes, he almost crit.
No.
Oh, come on.
Almost.
Just give it to him.
If his
So
story
he
was
hits-
even just a little
so-
bit less shady, I would consider marrying him.
Ooh. So takes 8 points of piercing damage, and then the shard explodes, and the other 2 need to make. Oh,
Dexterity.
they all 3 need to make dexterity.
Oh yeah, that's freaking stupid range, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
One of them fails. One of them got a nat 20. The other guy got a nat 1. The dice giveth, and the dice taketh away.
You got a nat 20, that's all you get. That's your nat 20.
Stunned gives you automatically fail dex saves.
This is true. This is true.
Because you can't move.
Yeah,
Or
I
react.
didn't specify which one was where, so I'll roll a d4. And thank you.
Nice catch.
Pick a number. I'll re-roll a 4. 1 through 3.
3.
3. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, if I roll a 3, then the 20 will go to the stunned guy, so he'll just fail.
Okay.
So
Of course.
they all fail. So this guy dies from being punched and then a ice knife. The other guy gets hit with the knife and the explosion catches the guy in the back. Okay, so that's off.
I can't believe that worked.
Chaos respects chaos.
Dude.
This entire campaign up to
yeah,
this point is
Stoyo
just
yells
chaos.
duck. You kind of step out of the way as this ice
I'm just like,
this knife just crashes into this guy and then it explodes into a snow flurry.
and I just see all the ice just kind of fly by my face, and I'm like,
That's his turn. Percy.
is that guy in the back still alive?
I
Apparently.
can only imagine how these guys fucking feel because
Um,
they saw a mop of red hair.
Was it this guy?
One
who
of
got
their
ice
people
knife?
just got
Or was it this guy?
eviscerated,
The guy.
and then another
He got
dude
hit
took
with
an
a knife.
ice knife to the
Okay.
But then it
chest.
explodes in a 5-foot radius.
I thought he was the guy with the knife.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
what
but
he
like, can you all
Okay.
imagine? Can you
Percy,
imagine like in a span of 6 seconds that happened?
I don't know if they can understand Collin, but Percy, before he fires off another shot, because I can reload as part of as a move action.
Mhm.
So I reload my crossbow with another one of my poison bolts, and he says, "Surrender, and we'll hurt you no further. Put down your arms."
So the same thing happened to the last guy who died when the explosion happened.
Okay.
His armor and weapons fall to the ground, but his body just kind of.
Okay. So they don't seem to be reacting to him saying this.
They do not.
Okay, so then I'll fire a shot. I believe 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
He's in range.
That guy's in range.
Okay.
I don't get advantage on the shot,
Right.
and I don't get my sneak attack bonus. But it's a 12 on the die for a
18, isn't it?
dirty 20 to hit.
Yep.
So he will take 8 points of regular damage,
Okay.
and then a DC 15 con save.
10.
Fails.
He may be dead.
Probably is.
So what did they say? 8 points of regular, 25 poison damage.
This guy.
They must not have super health, because I only got once, and then he died. That's splash damage. So
We are Thanos snapping these people.
Anything else, Percy?
Nope.
Anna's turn. She will double move right up next to you.
I'm just gonna give her a pat on the head
Unfortunately,
as
her
she
whole
approaches.
turn. Flubber Nugget, it's your turn.
his nickname. Flubber Nugget. Your movement speed's only, 20 walking right now?
He can get as far as behind me.
What was my movement speed swimming?
40.
Just jump in the water, bro.
Are you gonna double move so you
That's
can
a
get in the water?
I understand it's a waterfall.
Right off the first chaos.
How far is the waterfall?
The only thing is 20 feet only gets you in the same square as Drax.
And
No, right behind
You
him.
could double move into the water here.
That would be 30 feet of movement.
Yeah.
And then you would have, what, 30 feet of swim speed left?
Yes. You can get here if you did that.
Okay, I will do that. And when I get, let's see, I still have my bonus action, right?
Yes.
Cast your landing on his flipper.
I will.
I think
as a
it's gotta be
bonus
wooden
action, I will
now.
pop at a wild shape once I get to
Okay.
I will be right next to the bank though, so I can climb out of it.
Okay.
Is it a bonus action for you to go in and out?
Yeah, because I'm not circled to move.
It's an
So
action to
it's
go
an
in, a
action,
bonus
not a
action to
bonus.
drop it out.
It's a bonus
It's-
action to come out?
It's a bonus action to come out.
Okay, so not trying to play your character for you, but you could take your move action next turn to get to here and then come out, and then you'd still have your standard action left.
I don't think they're going to be around at that point,
I don't think they will either, but
so I'm not worried about it.
Drex.
I'm gonna move like.
Only 2 more, then they get a turn. Can they survive?
Probably not.
15, I'm gonna move 15 feet right
I
up
think
next-
you
right up
overestimate
next,
my ability to hit.
Stoya.
One more armor. Yeah,
Right next to his toilet.
thank you. I couldn't think of his name.
Which one are you gonna try and...
The one that I could see very clearly.
Okay.
Elder's Blast, I guess.
Theo, yes.
Yes, that's Theo. Does a like 20 hit?
Maybe.
Aw. 10 damage?
Okay.
Or not 10, sorry. 7.
Okay.
Oh, 20.
Yep.
2? Something like that.
That
Hard. That's 11?
11 damage?
11 damage.
So 18 total.
Pew pew!
Oh, these guys are peons.
He got the pew pew. There you go.
Okay. Anything else?
No. Nox?
I guess I'm gonna finally enter the room.
You don't have to. Let this guy go.
Who's that?
And I guess I'm just going to guiding bolt.
Okay.
Man.
Man.
12 plus 7.
Yeah.
19. I think my move damage kills. Maybe. There's quite a few d6 there.
He's taking 8 points.
Oh, he's
He's
dead.
dead.
I see 2 6s and a 4.
Yeah.
2 4. That's 20.
Yeah, that's 20 points radiant damage.
This one turns into little pieces of glitter. As the radiant still courses through all that dust.
So once that's done,
These guys didn't even get a chance to scream.
that was, mind you, that was literally less than 6 seconds, because that was the end of the first round, and a round takes 6 seconds. That was 6 seconds. I want to make. I have 2 things I want to do, because I did say that I put my oil of magic weapon on my rapier, and that lasts for 1 hour.
Okay.
So I don't want to spend too much time. But I did have a question, because I did learn some things about vampires back in the town. But these guys, you said, just kind of turned into dust. It didn't seem like
missed out, they didn't do anything.
They turned to dust and then drifted in the wind.
But did the dust seem to like be coalesced, or did it just seem to like scatter every direction? You know what I'm saying?
Did it go in one direction or just kind of everywhere?
Both. There's a pile of dust on the floor, but some of it did get, like it seemed like it was swept away.
Well, if we find their sleeping quarters, we'll
Burn 'em. Yeah.
figure something out.
Yep.
I
Okay.
don't know.
So
we've had a real hard time in the past burning things.
I mean,
so having determined
True.
that, Percy will. I want to work my way. I'll be like, you guys, if you can figure out what they're doing with that crap, I'll scout ahead a little bit.
Whoa, there was fuck, yeah.
There were vials and
There-
stuff,
yeah,
and
yeah,
Percy's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
he doesn't have any clue what they're doing.
Medicine fascination, Nox is all over that shit.
Okay, so you can
Wanting to pick it around, yeah, Kai's
right there.
Walk around the vials.
Yeah, I want to
Kai's
know.
right there
I
with
kind of
you.
want to know, like, from a medical standpoint, kind of like medical fascination and medical understanding, kind of what the fuck this is.
Sure.
I will save money.
So,
Poison.
give me an investigation check first.
It lasts 1 minute.
8.
I did get 2 shots off
Okay.
of it though.
So there
said that
are
that's one vial
numerous
basically
different
wasted.
things.
That's both of them gone.
Tell me in which order they
Alright.
So I
fascinate
traded
you.
the other one for.
There
That's
are
right.
large vials, about like yay big,
The big old gallon mason jar size.
that have various parts in them. Some of them are like humanoid, like hands, fingers, feet.
Ew.
Some are animal, where it's animal parts, like there's a wing, a tail, just a bunch of different pieces of things that are stored in this similar kind of fluid that you had seen earlier, Percy.
From aldehyde.
So
Yeah.
they're bigger canisters. Near those are much smaller vials that are a little bit smaller than a mason jar, but bigger than like a test tube.
Maybe bigger than a bread box.
It seems too obvious, so I don't think it's that.
But inside is red liquid.
Do you want to make a column?
Attached or kind of like written across the top of them, like with like tape or loose parchment.
She party golem.
Language that you can sometimes understand. They appear to be names.
Is one of them heavy and another one normal?
This is a serious moment, Stephen.
Now I want to make a lizard and have my cat.
Heavy.
Normal.
Okay. Definitely. Probably
back
the
seat
red
wizard
liquid names.
And there's also
Oh, there's one more at the door.
well, less stuff and more papers.
Ooh, more papers. I can shove
There
those
seems
in
to
my
be
bag
a
to read later.
Journal documenting various things. However, if you were to look at it by a quick glance and kind of flip through it, it's in a language you can't understand.
Cool. In the bag it goes. Until comprehension can be found. Papers.
Unless, of course, I
bag.
cannot find it or I forget.
Yes. Papers, journal papers, just go right in the bag for now. That'll be.
Do you want me to put those in the party bag?
That'll be tonight's problem.
Were there empty
I'll put those in the
vials
party
there?
bag then.
There were no empty. Because I was gonna say, if there's an empty vial when Percy walked by, you would have grabbed one. He always likes to have vials for poison.
You could easily dump something out.
Well, he's got his empty one from his poison, but he's like, don't know if I want to put like a healing potion in a vial that just has wyvern poison in it.
Oh, you'll just create a Sour Patch Kid.
So,
Ugh.
Yeah, probably the red vials of liquid would interest him first, and then the body parts, because is it like what? Or is it like a liquid?
Give me a medicine check.
I will assist if I can.
Sure. That's fine. Keep it.
Okay. It was a 2 and 2, so
No.
no.
two
No,
difference.
no. I have a very high medicine, so I think I have a 7 or 8 in my medicine. Give me 1 second.
I did say I walked up there to.
Medicine. I have a 7, so 9.
So it's, with the two of you looking at it, it's hard to ascertain what this is, what purpose it holds, but with your extensive medical background, you know enough to tell that this is blood that is in various stages.
Of like coagulation and.
It is me, everyday work.
I have a feeling I know what this is.
Yeah, I saw that earlier.
That is me, everyday work. Ice puddle.
Okay. And so he's gonna carefully pack those into his bag to like, research later. Because this obviously.
How many? There's a lot.
Probably
Like there's
2 or 3 with like the most differences.
so if there's like a
there's
box about, say like the size of one of those
Yeah.
cubbies,
So say there's like
there's like 100 of them.
one that looks like it's like more blood-like, and then one like towards the middle, and like one looks like kind of like the beginning, middle, end type stage. So like
Okay.
3.
Sure.
Because I'm trying to save space and shit. Annie's going to apologize to whoever these names are as he wraps them up in a cloth and shoves them in the bag. And then he's just going to investigate these, real quick, these,
Parts.
parts. Yeah.
Hilarious.
Are they in formaldehyde, or are they in, like, some sort of different liquid?
How are you testing to find out?
Give it to Drex and let him drink it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Whoa!
You
Give it to
open
Drex,
the
he'll
lid
drink
and do the
anything.
whiff test. Does it smell like formaldehyde, or does it smell completely rank?
So when you pop it open, as soon as it pops open, it's like those can of anchovies that as soon as they're cracked, immediate gag reflex. As it's
Scientific exploration.
Not always
terrible,
so fun.
terrible
Throw
odor.
that shit in the water.
It
That's a bad idea,
seems
do that.
resemblant of formaldehyde, but there's something else in it that it is not just formaldehyde.
Okay. He's probably only gonna just take a hand, seal it back up, and take whichever one he already has in his hand, and probably just one. He's gonna take one human part and one animal part, and then that'll be it, just for further study and a safer place. And he's just gonna carefully.
Are these going in your bag or the party bag?
He was more than willing to keep them in his bag. In case.
Can I just open the party bag?
Okay.
It's a bag of holding?
Okay, so he just puts them
Okay.
in there. And with the journal papers, and he's going to study them later.
Okay.
For jeez, Knox, did you have to open it?
Scientific exploration, you smell a lot of shit. Sometimes literally. Okay, I have what I need. So Knox is ready.
I just kind of pat Anastasia's head, 'cause she's right next to me and she's in wolf form, so that probably, her poor nose.
She's like on the ground, like.
He looks at her and he gives her a scratch behind the ears. Sorry.
Okay, well, it was kind of uneventful.
Yeah, let's keep going.
The whole time Percy would have been making his way down the hall slowly and quietly.
Well, uneventful for you, but I know things to study. This is fascinating.
So you are popped out of seal form, right? And you guys are continuing upward?
Yep.
Okay. So you do so, and it trends upward about another 60 feet or so before you kind of once again come to this opening, similar to how you were here, where it's about to lead into another room.
Mm-hmm. How far behind me is the rest of the group? Are they still back in that room?
How far behind are you?
I would say that in the time, as long as they were taking to examine those things, I would probably be
Okay.
the full way, and I'll just kind of
Yeah, so they're probably
stop
down.
and listen, and if I don't listen first, and if I don't hear anything obvious, Percy will peek his head around and just kind of look in
Sure.
and see what the room looks
So I'm
like.
not going to make you roll here.
Okay.
It opens up in here. There is another large lake that takes up probably 80% of the space in this room. But along the path that kind of leads in from this tunnel, kind of goes and winds around the backside of the lake, and there are two paths that split from it. Right where it kind of turns and bends, there's a path that leads out this way, and then the path continues going down this way.
There isn't a dungeoneering skill in this, but that's what I'm thinking of as like a dungeoneering skill, if it's survival or whatever. Can I make a judgment on if either one of those seems to be leading towards the direction that I first scouted? From when I first went in invisible up at the top.
Sure.
I mean, maybe they both will eventually lead there. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out which way seems to be more obvious to take me that direction.
I'll give you a choice of survival or investigation. The survival will be easier.
I only have a +1 on that though. I got a +7 to investigation, so I'm gonna go investigation. Oh, that's an 11 for an 18 investigation.
So, looking around,
And I'm not going into the room any further. I'm waiting for the rest of the group to
Right.
catch up to me at this point.
looking around, you see along, as you're kind of looking, judging the two paths, there's a glimmer that catches your eye, and you kind of shift your attention to the top, and near the top of the wall of this cavern is that ring of ice, and that same prismatic glimmer is pulsing through it every now and again. So
So that's probably making me think that's where I came. The lake I saw originally.
yes, this isn't where you were earlier,
Mm-hmm.
but you assume to be roughly on the same level.
Okay, I gotcha. So I'll wait for the rest of the group to catch up to me, and then
So
I will explain
effectively-
that to them.
Either of these paths will take you somewhere.
What direction is north, and which direction was north when we were facing the cave?
So you are coming up this way.
Are we moving south
Would
inside
be-
the mountain?
Yes.
Okay.
Going up this way would be south. So behind you currently is north.
Okay. And you said when you went into the cave
Mm-hmm.
that you had to go east into the cavern that had the lake? Was it to your
But
right
hold
or
on,
to the
I
left?
gotta reorient myself now. So north, south,
South would
east,
have been the
west.
entrance.
So yes,
that you
I went east to the lake. No, the east caverns were the ones that were blocked off, correct?
History check.
Oh.
I did draw a map. I just left it sitting on my counter at home. I got crap history 3.
You did draw a map, and Percy would still have the map.
Yes,
Um,
thank you.
the
I'll
lake-
explain why afterwards. Why I don't have my map. There's a big
The
reason for
lake
once.
cavern was to the east.
Okay, so we're gonna want to go to the west, maybe. Maybe poke around that direction first.
You, Percy, Pieces of you believes that if you were to go west here, would lead you to the other lake. This path is probably the exit path that you saw that was on the
Okay.
other side of the lake
Okay.
cavern you entered.
Yep. So I will explain. I think we need to go west. I think. Pardon me. I forgot. I don't have a voice. I was trying to whisper loud enough the microphones could catch it, but I think we need to go west, guys. That path.
Okay, that makes sense.
And
based
then
on-
he'll kind of sneak along it. and continue leading. I'll tell him to wait there until I get to the other side of the room. I basically want to have like a advance on them so that if I can stealth a little better without Nox or Theo playing.
So just a point of reference, technically it's the east path because you guys are backwards now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, no, if he had to go east when he was facing north in the cavern from the south entrance that he went in, facing north, he would have went east, which to us, going south, would be our western side.
Right. So.
Whichever path you say.
Yes. the path you know probably that leads to somewhere new.
Yes.
It's like,
So I will wait. I will go on ahead, go across, and start my way down the cavern.
Okay.
Out that room.
And I assume everyone kind of.
While the rest follows. Once I get to the other side.
I
I
assume
saw
you
that trace
guys-
only lasts for 10 minutes, right?
I believe it lasts for I think 10 minutes.
Has it been 10 minutes yet? Okay.
It's been maybe half that.
Was it maybe
And
5?
it lasts for an hour.
Oh,
It's concentration though. But yeah, you guys got plenty of time. So I assume you and the party probably take a similar marching order. You can switch it up a little bit if you want. Astoya will
Always be in the
suggest
center.
being in the middle though.
I'm
just
always going to
to-
be up at the front because I'm really quick, and 2, like, I'm probably, out of everyone left, probably one of the quietest.
I'll probably hang out as close
to the back as you
I
can.
I would like to move closer to the front, but still be in the middle.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So this path that you're on is a little snake-like, Percy.
Yeah.
It does make a few kind of bends and curves. It is wider than the paths from before. It is about 10 foot wide instead of 5 foot.
Okay.
So there's a little bit more room to maneuver here.
Okay.
I put us into some semblance of the order that we discussed.
And this leads you into a room that the mountain runs through this room. There is an opening in the side where it's just open space. Below the space, there is another river that runs below you. And then there is about a 50-foot long bridge that connects to the other side.
Okay, so I'll wait till I get to the bridge and then I'll wait for the rest of the party.
Okay.
I'm not gonna get on that bridge and have it be a trap.
Not by yourself, anyway.
But I will, standing there waiting for the rest of the party to catch up, I will make a perception across the other side to see if I see anybody like over there. I'll quick look up above, basically just a quick scan all around, mainly focusing on the far side of the bridge to see if there's anybody or anything over there waiting for us.
Sure.
But also taking the time because it's going to take them a round or two to catch me. So that would be one, and then the next round I would be kind of then scanning side to side, up and down.
Okay.
Perception check is a 14.
Okay. You don't hear or see anything.
Is it, when you say I don't hear anything, I mean, I do hear some sounds of water running. I
Right,
assume.
yeah, you hear the water and you can look down and you see the river running down there. You hear the wind kind of howling through the cavern. You don't hear any...
Just wanted to make sure it wasn't that eerie, creepy silence.
Yeah.
It's just no unnatural sounds.
Right.
Okay.
Who still has a mark on their hand? 3?
Mm-hmm.
When you enter this room, your mark begins to hurt your hands.
Ow.
Which room? The
He probably has to stop a second, almost drops his hand crossbow.
So what's with the room? Okay. So I literally went out there for 5 seconds. I'm back in.
It's just
I
this
promise.
real quick,
Zing.
Like,
yes, like a
Kind of like a nerve flaring to life. In
a little bit,
sense.
yeah. But it's hot. It's like a fire. It's like you grabbed something that was really hot and then are like,
what's Bloody Knuckles? You ever play Bloody Knuckles? Is it like that?
yeah.
Let's see who can,
But
who
hot.
can hit the softest.
It's like wham! You play Bloody Knuckles while wearing fresh out of the oven mitts.
Okay. We used to play it with combs.
Well, last time I played Bloody Knuckles, I had rings on, and so when somebody went to go wrap my knuckles, they actually cut their knuckles on my rings, and I won.
You cheater.
I didn't even know we were playing. They're like, "Hey, you want to play a game?" I'm like, "Okay," and they're just like, "Stick your hand out." I'm like, "Okay," and then went wrap, and
What
they're
do you
just like, "That's not
So
fair."
I wait for them. I assume this is like the first thing I think of as example is the bridge when Shrek and Donkey went across to the Dragons thing. It's one of those kind of bridges. A rope and plank bridge.
A Stoyle also feels it too. He's like,
Oh yeah, I forgot he was marked. Does Anna kind of whimper in wolf form, or is she not marked?
which is pretty large.
And you said it's how far across the other side?
I forgot
About 50.
how close it was when the presence of the new day.
Okay, Drax or Nox,
I got you.
let's
I'll tie you up.
put the rope back on me, and I will go across. I mean, at least if something happens and I fall, I'll take massive damage, but I won't be dead. They can get my body back. They might be dragging my limp body up on a rope, but at least it'll be...
I got you.
You should have changed your name to Biscuit so you could have been Limp Biscuit.
And then I will start making my way across the bridge.
Okay.
I will put my rapier, I will sheath my rapier, but I do have my hand crossbow. I'll switch it to my non-burning
Burning.
hand,
Okay.
which is my right main hand, but then I'll use my other hand to steady myself with the handle of the bridge.
Sure.
Because I have no idea what devious crap you have in store for us. I'm being very specific about what I'm doing.
The bridge, as you are walking across it, does kind of shake a little bit between your footsteps and the wind.
Percy doesn't think anything of this. Troy would be absolutely horrified. He'd be like, "No, I'm not going. You guys go on. I'll wait here."
This,
Oh, the bridge.
but
I
it
would not
is
even cross.
perhaps surprisingly sturdy.
Okay.
I would choose
It seems to be a
cross.
well-used form of transportation, and so the safety regulations on it are pretty well kept. So you go about 15 feet before you kind of get the idea that okay, this is pretty solid.
But I will make sure that everybody waits until I get across.
Yep.
And then I'll get across. And if they all want to go at once, that's fine. But I'm more worried about it being a trap
Yep.
than I am about it being unsafe at this point. So
about
I will
30
look back when I get to the 15 feet and I'm like, hey guys, it's pretty... I'm saying it quietly, but loud enough they can hear me that, hey guys, it seems pretty sturdy, but let me go across first to make sure they're not trying to lure us in. And then he will finish, he turns back and makes his way across. Still scanning with his crossbow, scanning the sides. And
It takes you about 30 seconds to kind of shuffle your way across the bridge, but you do make it to the other side, and nothing jumps at you. The bridge doesn't fall apart.
This
You successfully traverse the bridge.
Okay. So I will, basically, I'm not sure how, is there room that I can stand off to the side? So I'm kind of looking around the door down the hallway with my crossbow trained as they cross the bridge. Okay, so that's what I would do. Or maybe even step 5 feet inside the cavern.
There are, on this side, there are two paths to choose from again.
Okay.
There's one, so when you cross over to the bridge, immediately to your right, there's another non-doored path that is a staircase that leads upward a little bit. And then down from you, if you were to go left after exiting the bridge, at the far side of the room, there is another opening for a path.
So, since it's the closest one, I will go up to the one with the stairs. I will untie the rope from me. So Drax can, as he's walking along, just kind of pull up the rope. And then I will walk over to the one with the stairs and be ready in case anything comes from that hallway.
So just kind of looking up it, these stairs seem to go up about 20 feet before they make a left turn.
Landing and turn.
Yep.
Okay. So that's what I'll do while everybody comes across, and then which way do you guys want to go? Want to go up this way or down that
Does
way?
all of this seem to be mostly natural with just some bits of work stone and stairs and stuff?
Which parts?
Well,
I mean, I already
the
have
areas where he's at,
but
the stairs. I'm assuming that the steps are worked, but are the walls work stone, or is that natural? And where there was like a natural passage.
Kind of like last week how you explained
They
it to me
just
was
had
it was like
steps into it.
the way you explained it to me was it was like natural cavern that maybe had been enhanced with some work. That's kind of what I think
it's a mix of both. Where the openings here seem to be just somewhat natural caverns that have been, since inhabited, they have been shaped to be, more usable. So the staircases have been worked, the sides, the walls, the ceiling, reinforced a little bit to make safer passage.
They're maybe not completely smooth, but like there's no really sharp edges sticking out or anything. But they're still rough to the touch.
Yep.
Okay. Up the stairs. Okay.
I like it.
So Percy will quietly pad up the stairs, make the left turn, pad down the hallway as far as you can go.
So it turns left and only carries you forward about another 10 feet before it immediately turns right again, and then there's another 20-foot staircase or so.
Going up again?
Up again.
You told me before I got the sense that we were on the same level.
You were.
So now I'm getting the sense that we would be like a story above.
You are going upward, yes.
Okay, I'll wait till everybody's in eyesight. I'll kind of motion them on and then I'll go up the next set of stairs.
Okay. So immediately after ascending this set of stairs, the path goes forward about another 10 feet before opening into... It curves open into a room here, but there is a set of double doors that are shut. And then immediately when you come off the staircase to your right is another shut door.
Okay, so I will wait for the rest of the party to get to the room. I will go across and listen to the double doors while I'm waiting for them to come up the stairs.
Okay. Make a perception check.
It's a 19 on the die for a 23.
So you don't hear any footsteps or any voices, but you do hear this unnatural bubbling noise.
Interesting. Okay, I'll wait for the rest of the party to catch up. And as they're walking in the room one by one, I'm like listening with my ear and I'm like, and then I will sneak back across the room and I'll be like, there's a weird sound coming from in there. It doesn't sound like people or things, but there's like a gurgly noise almost. Bubbly, gurgly noise.
It's like the sound that like fish tanks make when the filter...
I was gonna say like a water
Like a
cooler,
bubble
an
sound,
actual
yeah.
water cooler, if you've
Yep.
ever,
Yep.
but that wouldn't exist in this world, so it wouldn't be a good thing.
Just like...
Can I listen at, you said there's another door immediately to the right when we came in, so I'll real quick listen to that door.
Okay.
That sounds good. 6 for a 10.
10. You, again, don't hear anything on the other side, but there is a, like, whirring noise. Kind of like this stagnant, like...
Like if they existed in this world, like a fan running,
A
low hum.
fan, or it's like a generator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird noise. Sounds like a beehive, but not like a beehive. Like it's constant and not as loud. So double doors or single door?
Any of them trapped?
Investigation
Sure.
to check for traps. Do you want me to roll twice? Once for each door?
Yes, please.
Okay, so the door with the whirring sound is a 19 investigation.
Okay.
The 12 on the die. And the other door is a 20, the double doors is a 25 investigation.
So the double doors, when you poke at those, you don't feel like they're trapped. It's also, as you're kind of testing stuff, it's not locked either.
Okay.
The whirring door, as you are investigating it, it's not trapped, but it is extremely hot.
Doesn't seem to be locked either. Don't know yet.
You're not sure. Okay. As you are kind of poking around, like when you touch it, it.
Almost like somebody cast heat metal on it. Are these wood doors though?
No. The double doors and this door, they are metal.
You said that. So I'll be like, okay, double doors, not locked, not trapped. This door, definitely not trapped.
And those of you who are close by can hear the like sizzling sound.
But
like
very hot. Yeah, like probably I like reached out and touched it very
Yeah.
briefly.
Yeah.
You know, like licking my fingers because they're like
Or
very, very hot.
my first vote is fuck that door and whatever's behind it.
Just some lava golem and they're like, I'm making the best stew, guys. My friends are gonna be so happy.
I'll be afraid.
So,
That's my own personal vote from past experiences.
if you want me to make an insight check to see if Percy would think the same way Troy's thinking, I'm willing to do that. But his thinking is that door is so hot. If something's living behind it, like you said, it would have to be like some kind of lava creature or fire creature. No normal living being that Percy would be familiar with could be behind that door.
Fair assumption.
So he's thinking, let's go to the double doors first.
Okay.
And he'll quickly explain that to you guys. He'll be like, anything that lives behind that door would have to be some kind of fire monster or something. Nobody like us could be living in that room. It burnt my hand just to touch it to see if it was locked.
Fish, how was that?
Artificer.
Artifice, yeah, that.
So,
Without
am
saying
I
it.
going first or is somebody else going first at this point?
I know they're not
Since
locked.
we're all here.
I know they're not locked. I'm just gonna walk up and.
Okay, so Percy will redraw his rapier, so he's got crossbow left hand, right. Actually, rapier left hand, crossbow right. He's gonna take his first shot. Will be with his main.
So as you kind of push on the double doors, they're not locked, so they do open, but they are a little loud as they. As you push them open enough so that you can hear them. Inside there are. So this room is. It's a fairly large room, 25 by 30, so it's pretty big. There are, Percy, you recognize these same chambers that you had seen earlier. There are 3 on each side, and then there is one that's like on the back wall. It's in the middle of the last 2. This one is significantly larger than all the other ones, and there's nothing in this one. It's empty, but it has, at the base of it, there are a bunch of tubes and wires that are connected to it that branch out from it and into the cave like electrical wiring, and they run underneath the ground, and every so often you hear this bubbling noise of this chamber inside. However, that only grabs your attention for a moment. As the rest of you, you're all looking around at these other chambers, your names are written on them. And 3 of them have bodies inside.
Percy, Theo, and Nox.
Because you and I don't have marks anymore. Does Estoyos have, or does Estoyo have one?
Not here.
Just the body in my chamber, like
Roughly.
Can I do a medicine check to see if this is like a doppelganger type thing? Like if this is like it's actually physical, like it's real, or if it's like magical?
Sure, I tapped on that.
Give me a message.
The eyes flash open and it right up to the glass.
That would be horrifying.
It is almost Halloween.
I would probably scream.
Oh.
Plus 7.
Well, it was better
Plus
than
7.
the what would have been.
12. Does it look fleshly? Like it's actual
yes. No,
tangible
it is
human?
humanoid. Yes, there is.
Okay. Is it like golem type? That's what I'm trying to get. Is like
No,
is
it is humanoid. It is flesh and bone and blood.
Okay.
That's weird.
Theo, as you kind of tap on the glass, the liquid levels inside begin to drain.
So, to back up a minute, while they were doing that, Percy, like when he sees that with his name on it and the thing, I know that metagaming wise, this would totally not be the thing to do. But this is how Percy would react. He would his hands would go limp by his side, he would drop his crossbow and his rapier and just be walking up wide-eyed like,
Ty would probably quarterstaff right out in front of you.
just staring, just like,
Yeah.
speechless. Like, first time you guys have ever seen Percy speechless.
I think we're all in the same.
About this time, you hear the sort of shift in this chamber as the liquid levels start dropping. And then, again, as Nox, yours starts going down. And again, Percy's, yours starts going down.
Does the liquid, is it coming out into the room?
No.
Just leaving that chamber, that
Yes.
container.
Yes.
So when that starts happening, Percy will kind of snap to and scrambles back and picks up his crossbow and his rapier. Like, what the hell's going on?
Kai
Just
takes
like-
a defensive stance.
This is surreal. I mean, Percy's just I assume at this point he's looking from Kai to Theo to Nox. They're everybody what the hell is going on? He feels like he's in a dream. Somebody pinch me. I'm dreaming.
Nox is gonna put his small little journal away once he sees they're training. He's like, city time's over. Shit. Kid.
Ooh.
He's so morbidly fascinated with all of this that he's terrified, but also so fascinated at the same
Fascinations
time.
of writing is terrified.
Yes,
terrified.
it's so fascinating to him. But yeah, he's gonna take a 5-foot step back, the fuck is happening here, bro? Sword and shield.
I'm gonna draw the staff of commanding water and I'm gonna cast Shillelagh on it.
Okay. So to the left from where you guys came in the center point of the eastern wall, or western wall, I'm sorry, coming this way.
West.
Yes.
East.
Coming in this way,
Yeah.
looking this way, there is another set of double doors, and they begin to open, pulled from the outside.
Is there anything in the room besides these chambers? And they're see-through, completely see-through. Percy's just backing up. He will back up, back to the door that we came in. Just he's
Nope, and out of there.
You guys know, well, no, you guys, it's really weird. You've probably never seen, Percy's probably been concerned before, but not scared. And he's scared. He doesn't, this is, because it's trippy, right? It's more of a trippy scared,
What in the...
yeah,
Congratulations, we've now stepped into something so far above our pay grade.
right, yeah. And it's more just I don't know what's going on, and Percy's very much into knowing what you're getting yourself into, even if you don't know what you're getting yourself into. And this is
way
mind-boggling to him.
Way too far.
Yeah, no, space, back it the fuck up.
So yeah, he's probably not leaving the room, not leaving his friends, but he's back by the door we
Nox
came in.
is gonna situate himself between that and Percy.
If I have enough time after casting Shillelagh on the staff, I'm going to cast Moonbeam inside that chamber.
Okay.
Wait, which chamber?
The one with me in it,
Okay.
Okay.
at 3rd level.
You are given no fucks.
Not even giving it a chance, whatever it is.
That's a con save.
Well, it will fail.
Whatever that is.
Got 18. That is 18 points of.
It's technically radiant damage, but I've been wording it like it is moonlight, its own source of damage.
Right.
Technically, the
Okay.
moon reflects the sun, technically.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie.
I say
Soren.
fuck you.
Okay,
There's a
so
movie I used to watch a lot as a kid.
moonlight
That's
opens up in the room, specifically pointed at this chamber, and the light hits the body, and as soon as it basically touches it, this form thing immediately crumbles in on itself and disappears, just fades from existence, doesn't turn to dust, doesn't do anything. It's literally just begins to slowly disappear. And you hear,
Like a black hole.
yes. And then you hear the sound of the chamber clicking, and the liquid starts filling back up.
The ones that had Drex's names on them, did they start draining at all, or did they stay full?
Can you move that with the others? So I think you can move
Moving me can move. It just takes a bonus
Each of your
action.
At
turns
this-
after you cast a
at this
spell,
time.
you can use an action to move the moonbeam up to 60 feet away in any direction.
I'm ready to cast Eldritch Blast at those doors.
The double doors do open,
Last for a minute.
and there is a trope of people on the other side that are entering into the room. Standing in the middle is a small dwarven woman, hair kind of pulled up into braids, like layout type braids on the side, reddish orangish hair. Skin has gone pale, but
Ash.
yes, ashen. It's pale, but it has that dark tint to
ashen
it,
like
that ashen
ashen.
tone. Outfitted in very heavy plate armor. There is held in her hand is a warhammer that she holds with one hand. And in the other, she holds, there's like a bracer shield that's attached to her arm like a gauntlet.
Lantern shield.
And then to her left and right on either side of her are other well-armored individuals that appear to just be bodyguards of sorts. And then behind them is another pair, so there are 5 in total. And, as the doors open, they kind of step into the room, and there's this immediate stagnant air of, yes, high tension and awkward silence.
Percy's on his crossbow is shaking, which is very odd. Percy, I mean,
Kai's just
he's
taking
mad
a
at these
defensive
people and
stance in the
everything, but
center.
he's still shaking from the.
Whatever the fuck
He's
that
right
is.
over there. Percy is also right over there in that chamber. So that's he's yeah. If you want me to even apply the shaking condition, I'm fine with that.
Do we see any of that crystal stuff?
Divinite? Or any of the flashy crystal stuff?
The flashy crystal stuffs that did the kaleidoscope lighting thing?
Not in this room. It stopped in the
That's where the wires are going to and from.
the room with the bridge. So since ascending the first staircase, it has stopped on that half of the cavern when you crossed over. But it is 8:45, so we will go ahead and we will start here next